Hello everyone, today in this video we'll be discussing the super important questions from the subject Principles of Programming using C, and the questions have been taken from the previous year paper and the model question paper. These are all the most important ones, don't miss any of them. And if you watch this video till the end, easily you can score more than 80% marks in this subject. And before starting, please do like and subscribe, it helps me make more videos like this. So without wasting more time, let's get started. The first question is, with suitable example explain the basic structure of a C program. Okay, when we write a C program, how will it look like? Okay, that structure we have to explain. Okay, so there are basically six parts in a C program. Okay, let's have a look what are the six parts. First one is the documentation part. After that we have the preprocessor section. After that is the definition section, followed by a global declaration. Then comes the main function, and after that the sub programs which we define. Okay, let's have a look at each point here with the what are the key points you need to write. The documentation section is the section which includes the name of the program, description of the program, and the programmer name, date, time, etc. Okay, like the information about the program. Okay, and that will be in a comments. Okay, comments will not be taken into consideration while execution. Okay, so you can write a single line comment using this in the before the sentence, or you can write multiple line comments if you put this slash and star and slash in between. Whatever you write, that will be just for the information, and that will not be considered as a part of a program. So first comes the documentation. After that comes the preprocessor section. In preprocess section we will be having all the header files which are going to be used in the program. Okay, so header files can be hash include stdio.h or hash include math.h. Okay, so these are the libraries which you are going to use. Then comes the definition section. Okay, definition section means whatever the keywords we need to define. Okay, keywords, for example, if I want to define long as this one. Okay, so what I will do, I'll write hash define, and then I will write long as okay, like that I will be writing. So this is what is the definition section. I want to use some keywords in between the program, my own customized keywords, so I'll be defining it in this section. Okay, then comes the global declaration. Global declaration will have the variables which can be accessed throughout the program. Okay, so int num is equal to 18, this can be accessed anywhere in the program. Okay, that variables will be declared before the main program, that is called as a global declaration section. Then comes the main function. We'll be having the void main or int main, inside which the main program is running. Okay, after that we have the sub programs, which are the user defined programs, like for example int sum int xy and return x plus y. So what happens, the x value will be coming here and the y value will be coming here, and the calculation will happen x plus y, and that will be returned. That will be returned to where, from where the function is called. Okay, this is the sub program function. So these are the six categories or the sections of a C program. Okay, moving on to the second super important question, we have what are the various data types available in C. Okay, we can store the numbers, the letters, and we can store the true or false values. So basically there are five data types. Okay, int, char, float, double, and void. Okay, so the first one is int. Int is what? It is a keyword that can be used to define integers in C language. Okay, if you want to store the integer values, we can use the int keyword. And there are of three types: short int and long int. This is referred to the size. What is the size of the number? If it is a smaller number, we can use short. If it is a normal number, we can use int. If it is a longer number, we can use long int. For it is consisting of 4 bytes. Okay, so the declaration will be as follows. We'll be writing int, and we'll be writing the variables of that int type. Okay, whatever we want to store, the variable name will be writing it here, and inside the variable we will be putting integer values. Okay, that was about the int. Like that only we have the float. Float is nothing but it will be having decimal values. In integer we can store 1, 2, 41, 38, like that we can store. In float, if we use, like for example, we can store the values of 2.1, 3.14, 7.67, like that. Okay, these values can be stored in the float. Okay, that is the difference between int and float. Okay, and there are two types. The 16-bit machine has 4 bytes of float, and the 32-bit machine has 8 bytes of float. Okay, so float xyz can be declared like this. Okay, next comes the double. Double means you can have 14 digits after the dot. In this previous one, it was only 6 digits. Here we can have 14 digits. Means if you have a longer decimal number, for example, like 4.1241678 924, like that, we have a very large number, maximum of 14 digits after the point we want to store. That at that time we'll be using double. It will be like this: double pqr. Okay, we'll be declaring the variables pq and r, how many ever we want, with the keyword double, so that it will be of double type. Next comes the char. Char is used to store the letters. Okay, a single letter can be stored in the char. Okay, if you want to store multiple letters, we have to use a array of char. Okay, Void is nothing but it is an empty data type. It has no value associated with it. Okay, we are just using it for the main function, void main, like that. Okay. Moving on to the third super important question, we have what are variables. Explain the rules for declaring variables in C. Okay, what is a variable? It is our data storage. Okay, for example, if I declare a variable x, okay, so x will be having a space inside the memory. Whatever data we want, we can store it inside that variable. Variable is nothing but a dabba or a box, okay, in which the data can be stored. So there are some rules in which you can name the variables. It cannot include the punctuation marks and all, like the special symbols, and only underscore can be used. Okay, while naming the variable, like your dabba is there, what is the name of your dabba? That can be used like underscore. The name can have underscore, but it cannot have these symbols. Okay, special symbols, and there cannot be two successive underscores. The keywords cannot be used as identifier, like the int, bool, char. You cannot name your variable as an int. Okay, because int is already a defined keyword. Okay, and the names are case sensitive. So first, if you declare some variable will be like first with all caps, and another variable will be having first with all small caps. Okay, these both will be considered different because it is case sensitive. Okay, these are two different variables, and it must begin with an alphabet or an underscore. It can be any of reasonable length. It should not contain more than 31 characters. Okay, so this is a valid variable. You can have numbers also, but not at the beginning. And invalid variable, because this has a special symbol here and this has an operator here, and this is beginning with a number, and this also has a special symbol here. These are the invalid variables. Okay, next is explain printf scanf functions with their syntax. Okay, by the name itself you can understand what is printf and scanf. Printf means outputting, okay, printing some value onto the screen. Okay, that is printf function, and scanf means whatever the value we have entered through the keyboard, that value should be stored in a variable. That is the scanf function. This is for the output and this is for the input. Okay, so C program supports two formatting inputs, printf and scanf. Okay, printf is used to convert the data stored in the program into a text stream for the output to the monitor, and scanf is used to convert the text stream coming from the keyboard to the data values and stores them in the program variables. So printf function is also similar. We'll just write printf and whatever we want to print. Okay, printf control string and variable list here. Okay, you just have to write printf hello world. That is also fine. Okay, and there are some other rules. You can go through the theory part. Okay, and guidelines are also there. What may or may not, how printf may or may not be used. That also you can go through it. Okay, scanf is used for reading the data from the keyboard. Okay, if you write scanf, we'll be able to capture the data. Okay, how do we do that? Scanf control string here and argument 1 2 3 and till argument n. If you want to accept the values of four variables, for example, in variable 1 I want to store some value, in variable 2, variable 3, variable 4, so four variable values I enter from the keyboard, and those will be stored in the argument 1 2 3 and 4. Okay, that is about the scanf function, and there are some rules also, you can go through it. Okay, so examples of printf and scanf is this one. Okay, see, scanf percentage d is what for the integers. Okay, these are the access specifiers. Okay, specifiers you have to write the data type specifiers. If you write percentage d here, that will be for the int, and for the float it will be percentage f, for the char it will be percentage c, for the string it will be percentage s. These four things you have to remember. And whenever you're taking input variable, you have to put ampersand and the variable name. Okay, for example, if you have declared num variable and it is empty now, okay, and you want to store some value, when you write this code here, what happens, whatever the value is entered from the keyboard, that will be coming and stored in the num. For example, if you entered 71, 71 will come and store inside this variable after this line of code. Okay, like that. If you want to store the float value, you can use this syntax. For the char, for the string, you can use this syntax. And remember, for the float, num and character will be having an ampersand here. Here we will not have an ampersand for the string value. Okay, next is reading variables of different data types in one statement. There are different data types here, int, float, char, and char array. For all of this, whenever it is an array, okay, that's the key point here. Whenever there is an array, we will not be having an ampersand here. Okay, rest all is same. The specifier will be putting f and c and s, and we'll be taking the data by specifying the variables which you have declared. Okay, so this is about the scanf function. Moving on, we have the explain various input devices or list and explain two input output devices. Okay, so input devices are those which we enter the data and computer stores it. For example, the keyboard and the pointing devices and the handheld devices, and the output devices are the optical. Sorry, this is the input device, or it is the optical also is input, and audio visual devices also input. Okay, so we have to explain any two of them. Okay, so let's understand the keyboard. Okay, keyboard is used to type a document, or the keystrokes can be used to type the text values. Okay, So most keyboards have 10 to 80 to 110 keys, and there are different types of keys. The typing keys, which you all know, are the alphabets, and the numeric keys are the numbers. Function keys F1 to F11, F12, and control keys are like home and insert. This we all have seen, right? And special purpose keys like the spacebar, lock, numlock, tab, print screen, enter, shift. All of those are special purpose keys. Advantages are it is easy to use and it is inexpensive, and disadvantages are that it cannot be used to draw figures. The process of moving the cursor to some other position is very slow. Okay. Moving on, we have the pointing devices. Okay, first is the mouse. Okay, mouse is a pointing device. We can point it using the mouse to wherever we want in the screen and do a click operation. Okay, advantage, it is easy to use, helps to quickly and easily draw figures, and points and clicks capabilities making it unnecessary to remember certain commands. Disadvantage is that it needs extra desk space, and the ball in the mechanical mouse needs to be clean to remove dust from it. Okay, these are the input devices, keyboard and mouse we discussed. Let's have a look at the output devices. First one is projector. Projector will take an image or a video source from a computer and it will display it on the screen through light. Okay, that is a projector. And speaker will convert the data in the computer to an audio which can be heard, okay, by using a speaker. Okay, that is the output device. Okay, moving on to the 6.1 question, we have defined computer. Explain the characteristics of computer in detail. What is a computer? It is an electronic device that processes the data and performs tasks. Okay, it processes the data and perform tasks based on the instructions given by the user or a program. It can store, retrieve, process information quickly and accurately. It is used for various purposes using calculations, communication, entertainment, and automation. Okay, these things you have to write. And let's have a look at the characteristics of computer. Computers are very speed. Okay, and they are accurate, and automation is possible. They are very fast and accurate. It can automate many tasks without any human intervention, and it is diligence. Unlike humans, computer never get tired of repetitive tasks. Okay, because it is non-living thing and it is a robot. Okay, so based on how much power we supply, it will keep on working. Okay, it is versatile. It can be used for different purposes like teaching, railways, banking, medicine, and so on. Memory is also there. It has a lot of memory, more than the human can remember. And no IQ. It is all about what we give to the computer. Based on our instruction, it works and it is economical. We can use the computer. It is very affordable and we can use it for the longer term also. Okay, moving on to the module 2, we have the first question: differentiate and illustrate the use of break and continue statements in a loop. Okay, whenever we are in a loop, we can use break and continue statements. Okay, basically, loop means what? Something you do multiple times. Okay, we'll specify how many times it has to be done. For example, 5 times. And when we use break, what happens? Suppose that loop has executed 3 times out of 5. Okay, 3 times it has repeated, and after the third time we put a break. What happens? After that, it will come out of it. Okay, it will not execute for the fourth and the fifth time. That is called as break. Continue means what? If we put a continue inside of a break, it will not come outside, but what it will do, it will skip the third iteration, it will go to the fourth iteration and fifth iteration. So the iteration will be 1, 2, 4, and 5. This is used for skipping. Okay, this is used for skipping, and this is used for ending. Okay, this is the difference. Now let's have a look at the syntax part. Okay, break statement is used to terminate the execution of the program. Continue statement is used to skip the current execution and move on with the next iteration. Okay, it will not end the loop. Okay, so an example is given here. There is a while loop here, and if this condition is there, continue is there. What happens here? It will skip this particular statement after it encounters this one, and it will come back and execute the second statement. Okay, this is what is called as continue statement. Okay, and next one is the break statement. In break statement, if this is present in the break statement, what happens? It will come outside the while loop, and while loop will not be executed afterwards. Okay, that is the difference. Moving on to the second supplemental question, we have differentiate between type conversion and typecasting in C. Okay, type conversion means what? We discussed there are different data types, right? In bool, variable, and float, and double. All those variables are present. That includes different types. Like int will store the numbers, float will store the decimal numbers, double will store the larger decimal numbers. And sometimes what happens? Type conversion needs to be happened. Int has to be converted to float has to be converted to double, and so on. And another similar concept is the typecasting. Let's have a look with example. Okay, so process of converting the data or the variable from one data type to another data type is called as type conversion or typecasting. Okay, it can be done implicitly by the compiler based on the situation, or we can do it manually also. Okay, so first is type conversion. So what all the conversion can happen? char can be converted to int can be converted to unsigned int, it will be long int to float to double lower rank to double higher rank. Okay, so an example is there. If you see the example, you will be able to easily understand. For example, we are adding two integers 5 and 3. Okay, these are two of the type int only, so the answer will also be int only, there is no conversion happening. But suppose we have an int and a float, what should be the answer? Should it be int or should it be float? See, int is a smaller data type and float is a larger data type because it has the decimal values also. So when we add up int and float, what happens, there will be a type conversion happens. That means the answer will be converted to a float value because float is a larger rank than the int. Okay, so first int will become 5, will become 5.0, and 5.0 will be added here. Final answer will also be in a float. Okay, another example, if we add an int and a double, guess what will happen here? Double is a larger data type, so what will happen, int will be converted to double and that will be stored here. Okay, so this is int to double conversion. These are all happening automatically. These are the type conversions, implicit type conversions. Okay, like that we can have explicit type conversion also, which we specify what is to be done. Okay, which we specify what is to be done. Typecasting is the name for that. Okay, typecasting is also known as forced conversion. For example, here int is there here and 9.43 is present. Okay, 9.43 is the number and we type int before that one. So what will happen, this value will get converted to int and it will be become 9. Okay, the decimal part will be deleted. So what happens when we do that in a operation? So for example, 5.99 I want to divide by 2.4. Suppose that I want to divide 5.99 by 2.4, but I put int before this one and I put int before this one. So basically what happens, this will get converted to 5 and this will get converted to 5 by 2 is equal to 2.5 will be the final answer. Okay, also point is not present here, it is an int value, so it will be only 2. Okay, so 2 will be the final answer. If the reverse I want to do, for example, there is 3 by 10 here, which is 0.3. I want to convert it into float value, we can do it in this way. If you don't convert to float value, the answer will become 0. Okay, so if I type float here, it will become 3.0 divided by 10.0, which will be 0.3 including the decimal point here. Okay, if you don't put float here, it will just be in an int value. Okay, next is write a C program to check whether the given number is palindrome or not. How do we check if it is a palindrome? See, number being palindrome means what? Suppose I give you a number 1221. Is this a palindrome or not? Yes, because this one and this one is same. That basically means the number and its reverse should be same. That is a palindrome. Okay, so basically you want to find the reverse and compare it with the original number. Okay, if it is same, it's a palindrome, else it's not. Okay, the int main values will be having here int main, and the variables will declare some variables, and we'll take a number n here that will be stored in x. Okay, so x will be having a number, for example, suppose x is equal to 54. Okay, next what we'll do, while x is not equal to 0, x is not equal to 0, r is equal to these three things you by heart. Okay, don't spend more time, it is very easy here, it's very easy to memorize this one. Okay, just write it 2 to 3 times, you'll be able to understand it here. Okay, you can trace the program if you have time, but in this video I'll not be doing that due to time constraints. I'll just explain you what's happening here. See, x modulus 10, x modulus 10 means the remainder. Okay, let's take a bigger number, 541. Now remainder will be x modulus 10, so r will be having 1 here. Okay, next s is equal to s into 10 plus r. S is initially initialized as 0, so 0 into 10 is 0, 0 plus r is r only. What is r value? R is 1, so s will also become 1. Next, x is equal to divide equal to 10. What will x divided equal to 10 do? When we divide 541 divided by 10, it will become 54.1, but it is a integer value, so 54 will be taken into consideration. So now x value is 54 here. Okay, next what happens, now x value is 54 here. Again the same thing will repeat here till x is not equal to 0. X is not equal to 0, again the same thing will repeat. What will repeat? 4 is here, right? So 4 will be added to here, and 4 will be the remainder, and s will become 14. Then this will be removed, 5 will be remaining, then remainder will be 5 here and 5 will be added, this will become 145. Next we will compare 145 with 541 if it is same or not. We just find out the reverse using the these three codes. Okay, this is used to find out the reverse of the number. Now we will compare 145 and 541 if it is same or not in this point of code. If it is same, it's a palindrome, else it's not. Okay, that's the code for the palindrome. Moving on to the next one, we have explained the concept of nested loops with a suitable program. Okay, nested loop is what? A loop inside a loop. Okay, so for example, this is the syntax present here. A normal loop will be there, right? The for loop will be there will be a condition and you will be executing a statement repeatedly. And if you want this whole thing to happen repeatedly, this whole thing should happen 10 times. Okay, In that case, we can put another for loop on top of it, so that this for loop will run for 10 times. Okay, first time for loop will run, another time it will come and run, another time it will run. That is a nested for loop. Okay, so this is the syntax for it. This can be used to print the triangle like these patterns. Okay, why we need nested for loop here? First for loop will print how many times star is to be printed: 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. But this whole thing also needs to be repeated. First time it should print this value, second time it should print this, third time it should print this, and so on. One is for printing the lines: first line, second line, third line, fourth line, and inside the line what is to be printed and how many times, that is another for loop. Okay, so let's have a look at the code. Okay, so this is the code here. Initially we'll be initializing some variables here, I, j and rows. This is for the rows and this is for the columns, and rows will have how many rows are there. Okay, in that pattern we have 5 rows. Okay, so we'll take as 5 here. After that, for int I is equal to 1, I is less than rows, I plus plus, j is equal to 1, j is less than I, j plus plus. I is equal to 1, it will run till rows, so it will print 5 rows here. Okay, and in each case, in each row what is to be printed, j will run from 1 to I value is equal to how much, 1 here, so it will run one time only. Second time when it will come, I would have become 2, so it will run 2 time and print 2 star. Okay, printf star. Then it will become 3, it will again print 3 star. Then it will become 4 star, it will be print, then 5 star. Now you understand why we are requiring this one. This is for printing the lines, and this is for printing inside the lines how many times what is to be printed. Two for loops are required. Okay, this is the example for nested for loop you have to write in the exam. Next is write a C program to compute the root of a quadratic equation by accepting the coefficient and print messages. Okay, what is the root of a equation? Minus b plus or minus root b square minus 4ac by 2a. This is the equation, right? So this equation we have to put it in the coding part. Okay, so for that what all we required? A, b and c we required the values to calculate this root of the quadratic equation. So we'll import the studio and math for calculating the roots. We'll take all the necessary variables present. Okay, and we'll check if a is 0, a cannot be 0 for the quadratic equation, and we'll calculate the discriminant, which is b square minus 4ac. See, in the root we have something, right? B square minus 4ac. This one will calculate and this will be stored as discriminant, and then we'll check if discriminant is greater than 0. If it is greater than 0, this all we have studied. If it is greater than 0 means it has real and distinct roots. Root 1 will be minus b, then square root of the discriminant. Okay, minus b square root of discriminant with a plus here. Root 2 will be minus, because it is plus or minus, right? Minus b plus or minus root b square minus 2 4ac minus 2a, right? This one is for plus will be one root, minus will be another root. For that, root 1 and root 2 is taken into consideration. Okay, then we'll be printing those roots. Else, if discriminant is 0, if this is 0, we just required b by 2a, right? Minus b by 2a, that will be only having one root, real and equal roots. Else there will be no roots, right? Else there will be complex roots, which is real and imaginary part, minus b by 2a, and square root of minus discriminant. This will be negative discriminant if discriminant is greater than lesser than 0. Okay, so that's the thing, and we'll be having the real and imaginary parts. We'll be printing it here. Okay, right? 2 to 3 times. It's a super important one. Don't miss this one. Okay, moving on to the next one, we have explained switch statement with a syntax. Write a C program to simulate a calculator. Okay, calculator will do what all operations: plus, minus, multiply, divide, and modulus. Okay, these 5 operations a calculator can do. Now we have to write a program which can do all these operations. Okay, and for that we need a switch statement. So basically, what is a switch statement? Switch statement will be something like this. Okay, directly we can go to the example so you can understand what's happening here. Switch expression. Okay, expression will be given here, and this expression, if it is matching the value 1, this will be executed, and there will be a break statement. Value 2, this will be executed, there will be a break statement, and so on. At last we'll have a default statement. Okay, this is just the syntax. Things might not be clear as of now. When we see an example, it will be clear. Okay, so this is the example. First we will include the stdio.h and stdlib.h. Okay, after that we'll take the variables here. Which are the variables? The a and b values which we want to add, subtract, multiply, which are the two numbers, and result will store another variable, and will create a character op. Op can have either plus, minus, multiply, divide, or modulus. Okay, this is for the addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and remainder. Now we'll pass the value here, whatever the op is here, we'll take it from the input from the user, and suppose that user has given plus here, so that plus will be passed here. Now we will compare what is the op value. Case plus means plus will be compared with this value. If it is true, result is equal to a plus b will happen. In result, what will be stored? A plus b. In case this is minus, in this case this is minus means when it will compare, this will not happen, and it will go to the next case and compare. Next case is minus here. If it was minus, this will be considered. If it was multiply, this will be considered. Okay, a into b. Divide means this will be considered. Checking after that, b should not be 0. If b is 0 means it will be division by 0, right? That should not happen, so it will check it. Else if nothing happens, it will be exiting it. Okay, that is the switch statement, and this is the program for calculator using switch statement. Okay, and modulus is also here. Okay, and default means if nothing happens, what should be printed? Illogical operator. Okay, if you instead of operator you put x like a stupid person, then in that case what will happen? X will be coming here in operator, nothing will be matched, and illegal operator will be printed. Okay, moving on to the module 3, we have write a C program to swap two numbers using call by reference. Okay, so here we have a swap function which is in accepting two parameters a and b. Okay, so here we have taken the int temp here. Okay, so basically let's start from the main program. In the main program, we are declaring two variables a and b. Enter the values of a and b. We are taking the values of a and b here, and before swapping, we are printing the a value and b value. After swapping, we'll be calling a swap function, and then we'll be printing the swap value here. So basically what happens when we call a swap function? Ampersand a ampersand b is compulsory to write because it is call by reference. Okay, call by reference, you must write ampersand there, otherwise you will lose all the marks. Okay, and here you will be writing star a and star b. Okay, so whatever the value you have passed in a and b, that will be coming here, and that same value which is present there, that will be taken into consideration and it will be swapped. How does swap happen? For example, if I take 5 and 4, okay, let's take, and we are declaring a temp value here. Okay, temp is declared here, a is here, b is here. Okay, inside the memory it will be like this. Okay, temp is here initially empty. Now star a is equal to temp. What is a value we have passed here? As 5. Okay, so 5 will be initially here, and star a is coming and sitting in temp, so this will come and sit in temp, this will become 5. Then star b value will come and sit in star a. Star b value is 4. 4 will come and sit here. Next, temp value will be coming and sitting in b. Temp value will be coming and sitting in b, so this will become 5. Now a is equal to 4 and b is equal to 5 after these three statements. Okay, just by heart these three statements. Now a is 4 and b is 5. We have been successful in swapping the numbers. First 5, a was 5 and b was 4. Now a is 4 and b is 5. Next, we'll just print those values. After swapping, a and b will be printed. Okay, moving on to the next superman question, we have discuss the applications of multi-dimensional arrays in the C programming. Multi-dimensional array means we will be having a single array. Okay, this is 1D array. 2D array means there will be a block like this. Okay, there will be a block which will be having rows and columns. If we do a 3D array, 3D array will be like this. Okay, it will be having XYZ values. Okay, like this, it will be, and it will be having the rows, columns, and depth also. Okay, a 4D column, it cannot be made here, but we'll be declaring it like this, int a, and we'll be declaring 4 times. Okay, 4 boxes will be declaring. This is for the rows, columns, width, and depth, and whatever. Okay, how many dimensions you want, you can go. That is the multi-dimensional programming. Okay, so applications of the multidimensional programming are, there are many different applications. It is used to implement mathematical vector, matrices, and other kind of rectangular tables, and many database include one-dimensional arrays whose elements are records, and also used to implement other data structures such as string, stack, queue, heap. All of these require the arrays. Okay, it can be used for sorting the elements in the ascending or descending order. Moving on to the third supplement question, we have explain the declaration and the definition initialization of 1D and 2D arrays with an example. Let's have a look how an array is declared. Okay, array is what? A collection of similar data types. Okay, these data have the same data type. Okay, these data elements have the same data type. So array will be something like this. Okay, inside this will be storing a same data type, like for example 1, 2, 3, 4, or another array will be having, we can store the alphabets like A, B, C, D, and so on. Okay, or we can store the decimal values, whatever is the type of the array. If it is an int array, we'll be storing the numbers. If it is a char array, we'll be storing the alphabets, and so on. Okay, so declaring it, how do we declare an array? It is declared by type, name, size. Okay, for example, type, name, size, and list of values. If you want to put the values also in the same line of code, so int is the data type we want. We want array which will store the marks. How many marks it will store? 5 marks it will store, and marks is the name of it, and int is the type, because marks is of the type number, and number means integer. Integer we have to write here. Okay, so 90, 82, 78, 95, and 88 will be stored. So in the memory, box will form like this, which will be having 5 places: 98, 82, 78, 95 and 88. It will be like this, it will be created in the memory. Okay, this is a 1D array. And we can take it from the input from the user also using a for loop. We'll be declaring the array here and the number will be declaring. Printf enter the number of elements and we'll be taking the elements one by one using an array here. Okay, so here we'll be scanning up how many numbers we want. That many numbers will run a for loop, and in each iteration we'll take whatever the number we want to take from the num I. Okay, so in the number I, all the numbers will be stored, and we can print the elements using another for loop. We'll be declaring a print condition here, and it will always print the int ar of I value. I value will be running from 0 to n, so whatever the digits are there from 0 to n, one by one it will be printed. Okay, that is the code for declaring and using an array after initialization. Same thing can be done with 2D arrays also. We'll be having row and column. Okay, only the difference is that here we'll be having two initializations, 2 and 3. 2 means two rows and 3 means 3 columns. Okay, so our array will be declared like this. Okay, this is the first column, second column, third column, and this is the first row, second row. Okay, this is the rows and this is the columns. So how it will be stored? 90, 87 and 78 will be stored here. 90, 87 and 78 with the same order. First row will be filled, then 68, 62, 71 will be stored here. 68, 62, 71 will be stored in the second row. Okay, so 90, 78, 87 was stored here, and 68, 62, 71 will be stored here. That was for the 2D array. Okay, this is how you declare and use it. Next is describe the different types of storage classes with example. Okay, storage classes means what? Where we'll store the values. Okay, it is the scope of the visibility is the lifetime of the variables, how much it is declared within a program. Until a program starts and ends, all the values which is stored will be present. Okay, until we end the program, all the values which is stored in the storage class will be present. So basically, there are four types of storage classes: automatic storage class, register, external, and static. Okay, so this is just for storing the values. Okay, for example, let's have a discussion of the first one, which is auto storage class. Okay, auto storage class is a class specifier used to explicitly declare a variable with automatic storage. It is a default storage. Whenever we declare a variable, it is stored in automatic storage. Okay, so this is the syntax for it: auto int x. Okay, that's all what you have to write, and a few other key points are there. If you want to write for the in detail, like for the full marks, then you can go through this one. Okay, the next one is the register storage class. Register storage also does the same operation, except that it is stored in a CPU register instead of RAM. Other variable storage classes will store in RAM. Here it will be stored in CPU register. Okay, so we'll be writing register int x, so it will be stored in a CPU register. Okay, that's all. External storage class, it is used for the global variables visible to all the program files. Whatever the files are there in the computer, all the programs files can access this variable. At that time we'll be using extern. Okay, and the last one is static storage class. Static means it will be available for all the global variables. That was for all the files, and this is for all the global variables it can be used. Static will not change the value after each iteration. Okay, another thing is there, its lifetime is over the entire program. Okay, till the program starts and ends, it will be having, and it will be storing the value which we have made the changes to it. Okay, it will not get reset. If you use the other values, it will get reset. These are the key points you need to write for this question. Okay, moving on, we have the fifth super important question, which is write a C program to transpose an M cross N matrix in C. Okay, so transpose means what? For example, there is a matrix here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, transpose means what? The row will become the column. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and this row also will become the column. This is the transpose. If this is matrix M, this is matrix transpose. Okay, this is the transpose of it. Okay, this you have learned in math in second PUC. Okay, so for the same, if you want to implement in the program, what we'll be doing is we'll be declaring int a 3 comma 2 will be declaring a 2D array with 3 rows and 2 columns, and we'll be having another the final matrix which will be having 2 rows and 3 columns after the transpose, because how many rows are there, that will become the number of columns, and how many columns are there, that will become the number of rows. Okay, so we'll be having the for loops here. Okay, for I is equal to 0, I is less than 3, and inside that j is equal to 0, j is less than 2, for accessing the 3 rows and 2 columns. Okay, one by one we'll be accessing each of these one by one, and that one will be storing it inside the okay, this is just for accessing the values of the array. Okay, this part of the code is just to initialize the array. Whatever the numbers you want to store in a, initially a will be empty. Okay, a will be having nothing. We want to store some values here, right? So this is only 2. Okay, not 3, so I'll make it properly. A is here. Okay, 3 rows and 2 columns. Okay, we want to store some values here. For that, this code is there. Okay, this part of code is just for storing the values. After we have stored the values, this has to be converted and stored it into the part where 3 columns are there and 2 rows are there. So what will happen, this row value should be stored here, this row value should be stored here, this part. Okay, and this value should be stored here, this value should be stored here, and this value should be stored here, and this value should be stored here. Okay, it's not actually like this. Actually, I'll write it here. Okay, see, this is 3 cross 2. Okay, 3 cross 2, and B is 2 cross 3. Okay, 2 cross 3. So first row, that will become the column, so this will come here and this will come here. Okay, done. Second column will become the second row, means this will come here and this will come here. Third is this will come here and this will come here. Okay, for that, the simple code what you need to remember is that this here. Okay, you will be starting a for loop here. For I is equal to 0, I is less than 3, B of ji is equal to A of ij. Okay, this code you have to write. B of ji is equal to ij. Whatever is the row value will be putting into the column, whatever is the column value will be putting into the row. Then you will just display the matrix. This is for printing the matrix. Okay, this is for finding out the matrix, this is for printing the matrix, this is taking the input for the A matrix. Okay, this code you have to write, and then you will be able to write for the means you'll be able to expect full marks for this question. Okay, this is the values here. For example, if the matrix was 4 5 6 1 and 2 3, the answer will be 4 6 2 5 1 3. Okay, in the same way, there is a 3 cross 3 matrix. Instead of m and n values, you just have to put 3 cross 3 wherever m and n values are there, rest all is same, and you'll be able to get the transpose for 3 cross 3 matrix. See, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, this will be 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, rows became the columns. Okay, moving on to the seventh super important question, we have explained the syntax of function declaration and function definition with example. Okay, so how do we declare a function and how do we define a function? Okay, these are the two different concepts. So basically, first we declare a function and then we define the function. Okay, so let's have a look at the declaration part. Okay, declaration is just letting the program know that there will be a function like this. Okay, like that. So it will be having a data type here and the function name here and the parameters which are going to accept, followed by a semicolon. The semicolon is very important. Without this, it will not be valid. Okay, so this is the declaration part, and defining is we'll be expanding it. Okay, so this is the syntax of it. We'll be having the return data type, then the function name followed by the parameters, and after that what the function should do and the return type of it. Okay, so the return statement, whatever is to be returned after the function. So the example is int add int ab int sum is equal to a plus b, return sum. Okay, this is the definition of the function. So these are the key points you have to write with the example. Okay, moving on to the module 4, we have defined pointer. Explain the declaration of a pointer with an variable. Okay, what is a pointer? Pointer is something that points. Okay, if it is pointing to this one, it is called a pointer. Okay, so basically what happens is, if you have a variable x with the value 7 here, and we have another pointer with a value x here, so x is y is pointing to a variable x. Okay, whatever is pointing to a variable, that is called as a pointer. Okay, whatever is pointing to a variable, that is called as a pointer, or in the other words, it can be said as a pointer is a variable that holds the address of another variable. Okay, so declaring a pointer is very simple. You have to use the star value. Okay, if you want to declare a int type pointer, we'll be having star pointer. So int type pointer means it will only point to the variables which are of int type. Okay, float type will have only the values of the address of the float variables. Okay, so this is the pointer. Next is define a string and list the string manipulation functions. Explain any two with example. What is the string? String is nothing but apple. Okay, like apple is a letter combination of letters, that is called as a string. It is a sequence of characters enclosed within a double quotes. Okay, that is a string. And string manipulation function, there are many string manipulation functions. For example, strlen. Strlen will calculate the length of the string. If I have apple here, the length of the string apple is equal to 5. Okay, like that. That is strlen. Whatever the length, whichever the string we want to find out the length, we will be passing it here and we'll be getting the answer what is the length of the string. Like that, we have the following functions: str copy for copying the string, strn copy string number we can copy, strcat means string concatenation, and strncat means string number concatenate, cmp means compare the two strings which is greater which is smaller, and strchr and strspn, strcspn, strprbk and strtoc. Okay, so these are the different ones. You can remember any 5 of them. Okay, and you have to explain the 2 of them, so you can explain the 2 which are simple ones. Is the strlen. Strlen will find out the length of the string. So in the program, if I define a string here with hello world, and if I write strlen str, the output will be how much? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. Okay, so length of the string is 5, so this is not the right one. This is the wrong one. Okay, it should not be 5, it will be 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. Okay, it will be 12. Okay, so the answer is 12 here. Next is str copy. To copy the string from one point to another string, we can use this one. So the syntax will be char star copy and char star str1 const char star str2. From str1 you have to copy to str2. Okay, so no, sorry, it will be from the str2 to copying to str1. Okay, so the example will be like this: str1 is the destination string, str2 is the source string. Okay, so when we have here as str1 as 10 and str2 as Jane, and then we copy str2 to str1, so the answer will be both will be Jane here only. Okay, because str1 gets copied from str2. Okay, moving on, we have write a C program using the pointers to compute the mean. Some mean standard deviation of all the elements stored in the array. Some means addition of everything. Mean means divided by how many are there. Some divided by how many numbers are there, and standard deviation is also having a formula. Okay, so basically we'll be declaring the variables where all the values will be there. Mean, standard, sum, and everything will be 0. Int n and I will be there. How many elements are there? We'll take, enter the array elements. After that we'll be using a pointer and we'll be running another for loop for finding out the sum. So we'll be finding out the sum here. Sum plus is equal to star ptr, and we'll be incrementing ptr. It will be pointing out to the next element, and we'll be keeping on finding the sum. Now mean is equal to sum by n, and how to find the standard deviation? It will be nothing but the sum of standard deviation plus ptr minus mean raised to 2. Okay, so what is the ptr pointing to? That element minus the mean value square plus sum of standard deviation. This is the formula you need to find out for the sum of the deviation. Okay, after that we'll be just printing these values here. Okay, moving on to the fourth superman question, explain how the strings are represented in the memory, providing a suitable example. So in the memory, how are strings represented? Strings can be like this. For example, ninja is a string, right? So how it is represented in the memory is that our array will be found. Okay, by default an array will be found, and each letter will be stored here, NINJA, like that. Okay, so this is how the memory stores the strings. Okay, and also strings can be stored as character pointers. You can point the character to the string here. Okay, you can use a pointer also. Dynamically allocated heap segment also can be used here. For each of these letter you can store it separately. Okay, moving on, we have the get s and put s function. Get s means is to get the values, and put s is to print the values. Okay, so see get s, the main difference between scanf and printf is that in get s function enables the user to enter some characters followed by an enter key. All the characters entered by a user get stored in a variable. Okay, so all the values will be entering until it encounters a enter key. Enter key will not be stored. Okay, enter key will not be stored. Okay, so for example, the declaration will be char and get s char. So whatever is the string here, we have s string here, enter the string and get s. And when we enter put enter here, after typing whatever we want, that will be stored till the enter point. For example, enter the string, how are you doing, then after that I type the enter. At that time this will be stored. Okay, that will be the final result in the s value. And when we print the s value here, at that time it will be printed, how are you doing. Okay, you entered is already from here only. That is for get s. And put s will be the same thing. Again, we'll be putting the values whichever is in the code. Okay, and it will be putting the values until we encounter the enter statement. Okay, so enter your name, we will get the name from here. Okay, after that we will be printing up the name. Your name is, then put s name, whatever name you have put, it will be printing it. Okay, moving on to the module 5, we have defined structures in C. Explain the declaration within a program and their use. Okay, what does structure do? Structure is nothing but it will be a data type in which we'll be having different data types. Okay, it is a data type where we'll be having different combination of data types. That is basically a user defined data type that can store related information or even or different of data types together. Okay, so there is a difference between structure and array. Array will have same data type, structure will have different data type. I'll repeat, array will have same data types and structure will have different data types. Okay, so that is the difference. And declaration will be as follows: struct will be writing in the structure name which you want to put, and here whichever the data name and its variable data type and its variable data type and its variable. For example, we can create a struct student here. Inside that we can create int r number, char name, char courses, float fees. So this is one data type. So student will be having four things inside it. In the memory it will be like this: student will be having four things. First one is the r number, second it will be having the name, and third it will be having the course, and fourth it will be having the fees. Okay, so this is how it will be stored in the memory. This is one data structure which has another four data structures of different type in it. Okay, so this is called as the structure. Okay, next is difference between structure and union. Write the examples for each in C. Okay, basically what's the difference between structure and union is that in structure, struct word is used, in union word is used. Okay, and the size. Okay, this is the main key point. So for example, if there is a struct a, okay, struct a is there, which has two data types, data type 1 and data type 2. Okay, so in the memory what will happen, that structure will be there, and in the memory there will be 1 and there will be 2 here, and whichever we want we can store the data in it. But in union what happens, if we declare the same union of this type union, and inside that 1 and 2 will be there, what will happen is union will create only one space. Okay, union will create only one space, either 1 will be stored or 2 will be stored. Now the question is, either 1 will be stored or 2 will be stored, which one will be stored? Whichever we assign the value latest. Okay, suppose that I had a value 1 here, so for the 1 the value will be stored here, then I updated the value of this union with two data type, then the value will be replaced here with the two, but in structure there will be separate places for 1 and 2. Okay, so that's the main difference. And memory, each member is assigned a unique memory. Here it is sharing the memory because it is the same place, and whichever is the latest, that will be taken into consideration. Okay, and rest of the things are also same here. Only one member can be accessed at a time because it will be replaced here, and individual member can be accessed at any time, both can be accessed at the same time. Okay, initialization at once you can do for the both. Here only one of the members can be initialized. Okay, that's the difference between structure and union. Okay, so this is the syntax. It is same as the previous one. Struct syntax is here. Okay, whatever we want to do the definition, and that will be stored. Okay, struct data int a, long int ab, data 1. So two structures are created here with the type of struct data. Okay, union is also the same thing, but here int I and float f. What will happen is, if I store I is equal to 5, and at that time what will happen is, in the union 5 will be stored. Okay, no matter if it is I or f what is getting stored. Then I put f is equal to 9.5. Okay, then this will become 9.5 and 5 will be lost here. That will be replacing it. Okay, because it is sharing the memory, it is a union. Okay, so that's the difference. Next is write a C program to read from a file to display its content on the console. Okay, we have to read up from a file and display that content in a console. So basically we have a file here. Okay, in the file it will be written I am a boy. Okay, so we'll be reading that file from the system and then we'll be displaying it into the monitor using a C program. How do we do that? First, import two header files, stdio and stdlib.h. Okay, after that what we'll be doing, we'll be writing an int main file, and inside the int main file we'll be having source file and target file. Okay, and we'll be having two pointers to it. And first we'll be writing, enter the name of the file to copy. We'll be getting the source file name, the name we'll be getting. After that we'll be reading that file and storing the value in source. If the source is null, press any key to exit. If the source is not null, we'll be taking the name of the target file where it is to be put. We'll be getting the name of it and we'll be writing it. Okay, we'll be opening in the write mode. After that, if target is null, we'll be closing the source and press any key to exit, because if target is null, there is nothing to write. There is no file to write. Else, what is the thing is, we have the source file, we have the target file ready. We'll be using this line of code to fetch all the details of the file, and then we will be putting it into the target. One by one, we'll be putting it into the target, and file copied successfully will be set. Okay, after that you can print it to the screen also by using the print functions. Okay, moving on, we have the define enumerated data type and explain the declaration and access of the enumerated data types. Okay, what is enumerated data types? Every data type will be having a number associated with that. Okay, it is a data type that a user defined type based on the standard integer type. Every value will have a number associated with it, that is called as enumerated data type. Okay, if we see the example, we are declaring enum day. Okay, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay, now today is equal to Wednesday we have taken. Okay, after that, printing the integer value of the enumeration. Numerical value of Wednesday if we print, today if we print, the numerical value of Wednesday will be 0 1 2 3. 3 will be printed. Okay, and we can use it in a switch case. Switch today, case Sunday, case Monday, case Tuesday, and so on till the last we can write. Okay, whichever the day is matched, that will be the output. Okay, moving on, we have explained the process of opening a file. How do we open a file? A file must be opened first before the data can be read or write from it. Fopen is the function which we'll be using. Which is the function? Fopen is the function we'll be using, and inside the fopen function we'll be putting the file name and in which mode you want to open, whether it is in the write mode or in the read mode. Okay, if it is open, it will return a pointer to the structure. If it fails, it returns null. Okay, so what is a file name? File name is every file in the disk has a name associated to it. That is the name you will be passing. And mode will be, what is the mode you want to open it in, whether it is a read mode or it is a write mode. Okay, so an example is given here. We are opening student.dat in the read mode, and if it is not open, we'll be returning it cannot be opened. Okay, if else, we'll be taking it here the name of the file which is to be opened, and we are again opening in the read mode. If it is null, means it is not open, that will be returned. Okay, Next is explain the process of detecting and at the end of the file. Okay, so what in the normal file there will be all the statements here. Okay, the data will be present and somewhere the file will be ended. Okay, that ending point will be /0. Okay, how do we detect if /0 has come or not? By using a function called as feof. So feof, if we apply on this file, what will happen? It will check each point where is the this symbol, and wherever it is that symbol, it will know that there is the ending of the file. So to use this one, before that we will see the syntax of it. It is int feof file stream. Okay, so example of it is, suppose in new txt file we have this is demo. Okay, what we have in new file, this is demo. Okay, so an example will be as follows. We'll be having an int main here. So file star f open new text in read mode. In the this is pointing to the file here, and we are getting c of f means every letter we are getting it from the file new text. We are getting every letter and it is being checked it is end of the file or not. If it is not the end of the file, then we will be putting this and then we'll be getting the next character. Like that we'll keep on doing until it gets to the end of the file. After that it will come out of this, and we'll be checking here if it is the end of the file or not. What is f pointing to? Is it the end of the file or not? If it is end, it will reach the end of the file, else it will read failure. Okay, means it is not reached the end of the file. Before only we came out means there is some error. Okay, and then we'll be closing the file. So the output will be this is demo and this is demo. Then after that we'll be reaching to the end of the file, so it will be just closing. Okay, both of these functions do the same, the eof checking and feof also. Okay, both will be doing the same thing. Okay, so that's all for this video, and make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.